Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's a brand new streaming week. And what's the best thing to start off the week with? Would it be great games, awesome news, interesting topics? No. Today, we're going to talk about technical issues. Of course. Why not? What else would we be talking about here on my show? I'm going to talk about my day yesterday, which in some ways went really well, but for the most part was a technical nightmare. Wait till you hear till the problems I had because of the latest Windows update. Oh boy. So the good news is there's some good positive improvements and I'm actually working to do some new stuff. The bad news is it was a nightmare to get it working and I want to share my story with you. So stick around because it's time for a new streaming week. And it's time for a technology bitch fest on today's week-starting episode of the Level 1 Podcast.
Get ready for some meaningful content, because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Woo! Because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Oh!
Alrighty, well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. Of course, I'm DSP, and this is the Level 1 Podcast for Sunday, the 19th of January, 2025. This is a full streaming week, except I have a random day off on Thursday, the 23rd. I actually have a day off with my wife where we have a bunch of errands and things to run, so I will not be here this Thursday, but I will be here Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, okay? And this week will be an interesting mix of continuing playthroughs, wrestling commentary, and some new games. We'll talk about that because this week we have to determine what are the new games in the rotation while we're also determining, do I want to keep playing Stalker 2 or not? So we have a bunch of stuff to discuss, but we'll get to that because today I really just need to talk with you guys about tech and how frustrating it's been ever since I upgraded my setup back in early December for about a month and a half. Every other day, something's going wrong. Some new update isn't working. Some new thing that I had and I thought that I had hammered down just decides to malfunction. It's getting pretty frustrating at this point. Okay, it really is. Now, there are some things that people have suggested as improvements that I really appreciate. For example, one of the things that you guys have suggested is to have another webcam. That this webcam right now that I'm using for the podcast is just for that. The podcast and shows with commentary and the daily wrap and stuff like that. But that I have another cam. And that camera would be over here so that when I'm turned and I'm about to play a game looking at my TV, you're not staring at the side of my face. But instead, you're actually looking at, me from this direction. Okay? So that's something that I've already been thinking about and brainstorming about. Like, how could I make this happen? All right. Now, in addition, as you know, I started playing games on PC that normally I wouldn't. And now that I have this gaming PC set up and I'm using keyboard and mouse, it's kind of interesting. Games such as Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, and Marvel Rivals, playing on keyboard and mouse seems to improve my performance. And so I said, what else could I do? And I was thinking, wait a minute, I have a pair of wireless PC headphones. They're high end. They're actually meant to be like, higher end wireless PC headphones. And I haven't used them. I bought them for my wife many years ago when she was playing Overwatch on PC. She hasn't played Overwatch in years and has no desire to PC game anymore. And I use them every once in a while. You'll notice that I have wireless headphones on, like, for example, if I'm on someone else's show, like Kino Casino or something like that. So I decided to start using them with my setup, and I actually used them once or twice last week playing Call of Duty, but I hadn't actually like installed the software for them or done anything like that. Well, I started thinking, wait a minute, I bet if I install the software for them, these are high-end headphones. I bet they do surround sound, you know? So all these things going on. And while I have all these ideas in my head, okay, a day ago or 2 days ago now, it all hits on every PC I have in the office, Windows update required. Okay. Now, for clarification purposes, all right, you guys are going to say, I can't believe you. You probably won't believe me, but I'm going to be transparent with everyone. For 10 years, I never did any Windows updates on my capture and streaming PC. I'm absolutely dead serious. I never did Windows updates on my capture and streaming PC. I think I take that back. I think I did like 5 or 6 years ago. I did. Because I was on Windows 8, and I think they updated it to Windows 8.1. So I think whenever they did that update to Windows 8.1, I did that update. And that was actually the last time that I had done Windows updates on that old PC. Now, I don't have it anymore. It's trash. It's out of the house. I can't even show it to you. It's, old news. But I never did it. Now, you might say, well, why didn't you do it? Okay? There's a couple reasons. All right? Number one, that PC was solid. I mean, outside of a few tech issues where the microphone would sometimes malfunction, and at the end there where some videos were corrupting, that PC was super solid. It was. Like, it never had an issue. So because of that, why am I putting in Windows updates? I'm not using that PC to go to any website where I put myself at risk, where I have to worry about viruses or anything like that. It was purely business related. It was never used for anything else besides recording, broadcasting, uploading, and doing business stuff like paying my bills and stuff. You know what I mean? Doing my taxes. That's what it was for. So it was never at risk at all. So why would I care about the Windows updates? So that was number one reason why I didn't do it. The other reason was I know for a fact from previous experience that Microsoft is not street smart. Here we go again. You love my memes, don't you? So my meme, book smart versus street smart. Book smart. I know everything about lines of code. I know how to program myself out of any situation, and I can implement this elaborate situation and this elaborate solution to any problem. That's great. But then when you implement it, everything goes wrong. Because you didn't test it, because you don't actually have real life experience in the world where that application gets executed and used for daily work. You program it, but you don't use it, so you're book smart, you're not street smart. The street smart people are the people out there in the world using your crap every day to make content. Those are the people who understand the caveats of the things in there, the ins and outs, the things that really work and don't work. That when you flip this switch, this thing breaks. They know that, and you don't, because all you do is code. You don't live in the real world with the rest of everybody else. Microsoft very, very much is book smart. They are very smart people. Those employees, those coders are super smart, but they break shit constantly. They'll issue a Windows update. Oh, everyone needs to do it. Okay, do it. Half the shit breaks. Then why did you say it was a mandatory Windows update? Did you not test it? And then what happens is these Windows updates break a bunch of stuff, and everyone has to rush to patch their hardware, software to make it work with Windows again because Windows broke everything. Okay? Now, the reason I bring this up is because Windows had its very first major Windows update since my setup changed in December, okay? So all 3 of my PCs said, hey, you need this Windows update. I did it on my gaming PC the other day right away because, hey, it's just a gaming PC. All I'm doing is turning it on game and I turn it off. I don't really care. There's no accessories plugged into that, right? There's no microphone. There's no webcam. There's none of this complex shit. It's just running games. Very basic. So I did it on there, no issues. It ran perfectly fine, no issues at all, okay? Now, in regards to my laptop where I monitor all of your stream chat and contributions, and in regards to obviously my capture and streaming PC over here, I knew this was going to be more complex. In regards to my laptop, I have a ton of shit open. At any given moment, here's what's on my laptop screen. In the upper left-hand quadrant, it's monitoring YouTube side contributions. So if you become a member, re-up your membership, gift memberships, or do a super chat, it monitors all of that. In the bottom left-hand corner, it's monitoring my PayPal to see if any tips come in. Then in the center of the screen is the YouTube chat room, so I could see all your chat messages and respond to them. And then on the right-hand side is the Kick chat, so I can see you guys in Kick talking, and I can read and respond to everything you guys are doing, okay? So it's a very complex setup. And it has to be able to change when I change YouTube channels. So, for example, on Tuesday, when I do Smart Guys, the wrestling commentary show, I needed to be working for the DSP Reacts channel rather than the DSP Gaming channel, so half these windows change, okay? So when I do any update to that laptop or I even restart it, all that goes away and I have to reset it up again. So I was like, I'll hold off till my day off to do the update on the laptop, so that way I'll have time to sit down and reset it up. It'll probably take like 20 minutes, no big deal, but I'll do it on my day off. And then there was, of course, my streaming and capture PC. And this was the big one because I knew with the Windows Update, this is the one where you have the potential for the most problems. On that PC, we've got my capture device. We've got the microphone. We've got the webcam. We've got my headphones, multiple keyboards and mice, RGBs out the ass. Like, look at all the lights around me, right? That's all hooked into there. And I knew with this Windows Update, there was potential something would go wrong. So I said, I'm just going to save it for my day off because how am I going to do it on a day when I have to stream and work? If I do the update and it breaks something, how am I going to fix it? Now we lose a stream, and people don't want tech streams of me messing with tech all day. We've already tried those, and they get annoyed by those, and they'd rather have me game or do content, right? So I said, all right, we'll wait for the day off, okay? So we did. So now I get to tell you a fun story. Are you ready for this? All righty. So yesterday was my day off. You know what? You want to go to the Phil's Day Off segment screen? Why not, right? I guess it's an appropriate time for it. Hold on one second here. I was filling up my drink. I just can't wait for this one. So yesterday was my day off, okay? And normally on my day off, I run all my errands. So I had to go to the grocery store. But get this. I didn't have to go to the pet store. I didn't have to go to any other store for returns or pick any products up. I didn't have to go to the dump. I didn't have to do anything. All I had to do yesterday was go to the grocery store. And I was happy for that. I was like, this is great. I'm going to have more time with my wife, and we're going to have a good day together, right? So let me tell you the good stuff about yesterday before we get to the shitty tech stuff, all right? I spent time with Jasper Kitty. We played a lot. We actually have this bird feeder on our back door. It's a glass door, sliding glass door, and it attaches with suction cups, and it's made with transparent plastic. And birds are coming and eating out of it, and it's super cool because the birds are right next to you on the glass. You get to see them up close. Jasper loves this thing. He sits there all day staring, looking from every direction. Cats are enthralled with birds, so he absolutely loves it. It gives him tons of engagement, okay? So that's awesome. And then, my wife decided she wanted to get the update for Nintendo Switch so she could play the second half of Mario Kart 8. What am I talking about? Well, when you buy Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch, which is full price, I want to make this clear, it's $60, okay? It's a full price game. You get the base game that was included on the previous version on the Wii U. You get none of the expansion content whatsoever, despite the fact that the game is 10 years old and they already charged you full price for it. I wish that Nintendo was not a bunch of ripoff artists out to nickel and dime their customers, but they are. They just don't care about you or your value proposition of buying anything. They really don't. They just want to make money. And it's pretty sad because I wish that Nintendo was more consumer focused, but they're not. So she had bought Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, played through the first 10 to 12 circuits, and the other circuits are there. They're in the game. They're literally right there installed. And if you click on it, it says, oh, if you want to play the rest of the game, you have to spend another $50 to get the Nintendo Online Elite Plus service to access this content. But I bought your game. Oh, well, half the content's not included. This is Nintendo, remember? Oh, So she looked into it, and basically it's $50. You can't buy it for a month. You have to spend a year, $50. It's the only way to get this Nintendo Online Elite, okay? So what do you get for it? Well, you get online play, big whoop, right? You get the second half of Mario Kart 8. You also get expansion content for Animal Crossing, which we still have. She just hasn't played it in years and years. But also, you get access to the Nintendo 64 virtual suite of games. Now, for those who maybe don't know, when you get Nintendo Online, the base version, you get NES and you get Super NES games. And you can emulate them, just play them and emulate them with save states and everything on the Switch. So that's really neat. And I've played through some of those and they're really good. They run well and everything, okay? So she's looking at this and she's like, well, I really liked the first circuits, but I really don't feel like I got $60 out of this game, you know? And now they want me to spend another $50 to access the next half of the circuits. And the other thing that's tempting her so badly is that she played Mario Kart Tour, the mobile game, years ago. And she really liked Mario Kart Tour. She thought it was fun. And she's like, man, I would love to play that in the real game with controls that work instead of touchscreen. So she's being tempted, right? And then she finds out, oh, well, you know, the Nintendo 64 games, what is there? And she's like, whoa, Ocarina of Time? That's her favorite Zelda game of all time. Mario 64, she used to play that on N64 in the 90s. She loves it. So she's like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to spend $50 and we're going to do it. So she spent it. She starts playing Mario Kart. It's great. The second half of the game is actually quite good. She liked it because it has now the World Tour mode, and there's new stages. There's this one set in Japan, supposed to be like ninjas and Japanese pagodas and shit. It's really well done. So she really is enjoying the second half of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, even though she had to pay $50 for it. And then she went to play Nintendo 64 games. I literally can't believe what I'm about to tell you, okay? I can't believe I have to say this, all right? Nintendo ripped everyone off. Completely, utterly, 100%, they ripped everyone off with the Nintendo 64 emulation. All right? 100%, matter-of-factly, indisputably, it's a complete and utter fucking ripoff. Okay, so why is it a ripoff? Right? Obviously, I better justify my words. I can't just say that kind of stuff, right? Well, if I could find the Phil's Day Off screen to go back to, I would go to it. I wish that I had mapped that as a button, but I didn't. I'm literally still looking for it. I'm still looking for it. There it is. I'm going to map that eventually to my Stream Deck, okay? So why is the Nintendo 64 emulation on Switch a ripoff, okay? She goes to N64. She goes Mario 64. She clicks on it. She goes to play it. The game runs like fucking shit. The frame rate goes to 60, then to 30, then to 10, then to 20, then to 50, then to 60, then to 30. It's unplayable. I'm not kidding you. We were standing there. She was trying to play it for 10 minutes. We both got sick to our stomach because the frame rate was going like this. Who in their right fucking mind would sell an emulation suite of N64 games and not test it to see if the frame rate works? It blows my fucking mind. Now, don't get me wrong. The graphics look good. They're upscaled. The graphics are upscaled to be like widescreen 1080p. So in that case, like, oh, look, it's Mario in HD. But the frame rate actually makes you sick. It's unplayable. It's literally unplayable. And it's not just that. The other games are the same. I was like, so they sell $50 a year for this online service, and the way that they you think it's a lot of money, but we're going to give you N64 games. But they all run like shit. So you get fucked. I couldn't believe it. Guys, I'm just going to tell you this right now. Don't get the Nintendo Elite online service unless you absolutely want the Mario Kart content or you absolutely want the expansion for Animal Crossing. Do not get it. That N64 emulation suite is fucking terrible. And it's first party. That's the worst part. It's first party. People have emulated those games on PC for over a decade, and they run better than on the first-party console, where you have to pay for it. So she was very, very justifiably pissed off. And it kind of ruined our day because she dropped money on something expecting, oh, I get to play all these awesome N64 games from my youth. This is going to be amazing. And they all run horribly. Horribly. Now, you remember, I've played Mario 64 before. What was it on? Because I don't remember. Was it on my 3DS XL? Or was it emulated on like Wii or Wii U? That one ran fine. So why on the modern console for an incredibly overinflated price, why does it not work? So I'm pretty upset because my wife was upset, and I don't like my wife to be upset. She deserves to get good quality and value for the money she spends. That expansion for Mario Kart should have been $10, not $50, okay? So as a consumer, I mean, did we go broke because she spent $50 on this expansion pass? No. But as a consumer, I have the right to criticize, and that expansion pass is awful. If you are actually going to buy that to play N64 games, I can't recommend more strongly against it. They all run like shit. Choppy as fuck. Why would you want to play? It's unplayable. Can you imagine trying to play Ocarina of Time with the frame rate going awful all the time in the middle of combat and everything? You might as well not even boot the game. So anyway, that was what happened with that. And then, we had a dinner together. We ordered some more Chinese food. Remember, I ordered Chinese food like 2 weeks ago for my marathon. Well, my wife was craving it again, so we ordered some Chinese food. Yeah, I got the General Tso's chicken again because it was good last time. So everything's been good. In that regard, we had good food or whatever. But anyway, after having a decent day of relaxing together, I went grocery shopping and it was like an hour. It wasn't a big deal. Finally, we're like, all right, well, I got to go upstairs. I got to see, because I did the Windows updates. I had them run overnight, okay? So I said, I got to go upstairs. I got to check out all the computers and make sure everything's working. I got to set up the laptop so all the browsers are now set up for tomorrow. I got to turn on, the desktop, and I got to make sure everything's working. Also, I added some new emotes for those who are on Kick today. Congratulations on 2 new emotes. Number 1, the Cammy emote has been updated. The Cammy emote now runs better and has, it's transparent. It doesn't have that weird white background anymore. And there is now a scrolling Street Fighter 6 emote that shows all the characters that I use in Street Fighter 6, which is really cool. There was another version that I liked better. Instead of it being smooth scrolling, it would like jump from character to character. But sadly, that one was too big for Kick. Kick only allows 1 megabyte emotes, and it was like 1,001 kilobytes large, slightly too large, rejected. So for the person who made it, if you'd like to make the one that jumps and you can make it under a megabyte, I would love to use that one. But the sliding one looks good too. See how it slides between all 6 characters? So enjoy that if you're on Kick, okay? So I added that, and like I said, for my headphones, I wanted to get my headphones up and running with the actual proprietary software. They're Corsair headphones, and they have a program called IQ. And this program allows you to mess with the settings of your headphones. So I installed IQ, I ran it, and I got the headphones set up surround sound Dolby Digital. So now, when I play Call of Duty today, even though the audio signal coming through will be stereo from my gaming PC, it should be able to take that stereo sound and somewhat decode pseudo surround sound, okay? Dolby Digital actually isn't true surround sound. It never was, okay? It takes stereo signal and kind of programs it on the fly to have some surround sound elements, which is nice. That's what we use in my living room, and it works fine for certain TV programs and the like. It's not as good as, say, DTS, which is like uncompressed audio, or there's another one too, is it a Dolby Atmos, and that's supposed to be better. But I'm not going crazy here. I'm not an audiophile. I just want some surround sound so when I'm playing Call of Duty, I can kind of tell if someone's coming from the left or right or behind me. So I'm going to have that today. For the first time ever, as I play, I'm going to hear people, hopefully, coming, from different directions. We'll see how well it works, okay? But it's enabled, and I tested it, and it's working. You can hear that echo effect that you always hear with surround sound. So it's going to be pretty neat. And also, I was having this issue. I had this weird glitch where I couldn't use the headphones. That wouldn't let me adjust the volume on the fly because I restarted the PC and everything. It works fine. So the headphones are working good. Surround sound today with Call of Duty. All of that should be good. So that was a good improvement. In addition, I found the files for Assassin's Creed 2, my original playthrough from many, many years ago, and I uploaded the whole first half of the playthrough so that my editing team can get to work on that for the DSP Throwback channel. So if you're interested in seeing Assassin's Creed 2 return, you're in the right place. Check out DSP Throwback at DSP Throwback on YouTube, and probably within the next week or so, it's going to start. We have to finish Mass Effect, which only has a couple parts left, and then we're jumping right into Assassin's Creed 2. I'm excited. I haven't even watched back the Assassin's Creed 2 playthrough in like 15 years. That's how old it is. It's like from like 2009. So I am definitely excited for that, and I hope you guys will check it out, and I'll let you know when it starts, going live over there. Okay? So all that stuff, successfully fine, no issues whatsoever. This is all great. I'm excited, right? But then I remembered something. I remembered that every time that I restart my PC, my webcam, which is the Insta 360, that's the name of the company, Link, okay? It's the Insta 360 Link webcam, has this weird thing about it. If you restart your PC, it re-enables all gesture tracking. What do I mean? Well, this brand of webcam, if you do certain gestures, like put your hand up like this or go like this, it actually automatically does stuff like zoom or pan or do weird things. And I don't like it to do that. I don't want it to do that in the middle of me doing a podcast or whatever. I've never used it. I'm not going to use those. So in regards to the camera, I'm like, oh, I got to go into the software and I got to turn off the gesture tracking, or else this is all going to be messed up. Okay, cool. So I go ahead and I open the software, and it says, camera not detected. Oh, okay, let me make sure it's plugged in. So I look at it. Yeah, it's plugged in. Camera not detected. All right, let me unplug it and replug it. Maybe the Windows update, a little wonky. So I unplug and replug. The camera turns on. There's a light bar at the bottom of the camera. It turns on blue when it's booting or on standby, and green when it's working. Turns blue, turns blue, turns blue, turns off. Huh? Try that again. I unplug the camera, I plug it back in. Turns blue, 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 turns off. What the hell is going on? This is the webcam I use every day for like 5 plus 6 months. And I love it. I love this webcam. 1080p, 60 frames per second, can do up to 4K. What is going on with this stupid thing? Right? So first I'm thinking, oh God, with the Windows update, did it screw something up? I mean, I'm trying to think in my head, like what's the easiest fixes? What's the quickest ways to check? So first thing is, could it be the USB port? Unplug from that port, put it into another port, goes blue, turns off. It's not the port. Could it be the USB cable? All right, let's try that. Unplug, right? New USB cable I'm using now. Replug. Turns blue, turns off. I'm starting to get upset. I'm like, I thought I would have been in the office for like 30 to 45 minutes tops. So I'm thinking this is going to be simple, right? Oh no, it's my day off. I'm supposed to be spending time with my wife. That's the idea of having a day off, not being in this office messing with tech all day. Okay. But no, of course not. Life finds a way to screw me out of my time off. So I start troubleshooting a million different things. I'm plugging it into what regular USB. What about USB-C? What about this? What about that? Nothing's working at all. No matter what, the camera goes blue and turns off, never goes green and actually starts doing a video feed, okay? I try it in multiple apps. I try it in the proprietary app. I try it in OBS. I try it in another app. Now I've got Discord open. Discord detects the camera as an audio source only, but won't use it as a video source. What is going on? Okay, I hit the internet. I'm scouring the internet. I can't find anything about it. No one's saying a word about it. Is it just me? Did I have the unfortunate bad luck that my webcam has fried because I did a Windows update? Does it seem to make much sense that my webcam is bricked because I did a Windows update? I mean, I could see it malfunctioning. I don't see it not working at all. This is so stupid, right? So here's the deal. I'm a little on the luckier side. Here's why. Last month, I just happened to buy an extra webcam. Now, the reason I bought this webcam is because previously I was having issues whenever I went to do a Discord call. I basically only had one webcam, and that webcam could either do video for Discord or it could do it for a game. So, for example, when I was doing co-op with Kino Casino, either doing the Black Ops 6 Zombies or when we were doing Chained Together many months ago in the summer, okay, I only had one webcam to use. So either I had a webcam or they did, either feed, but we couldn't have my camera on both. Therefore, if I was broadcasting and they were broadcasting, one side got the shaft basically, and the other side got the webcam. So I said, oh, I'll buy a webcam for myself. Okay, so now I have two, and we can maybe do two at once. Now, guess what? After I bought this, I found out there's something called virtual camera. And all that does, it duplicates your camera feed. So then you can have that camera feed work in a third-party app while also through OBS. So since I bought this camera, I found out I don't need it. My camera feed can show up both in OBS and in Discord at exactly the same time. And in fact, that's how I've been doing it on Smart Guys the last couple of weeks, and it works beautifully. So I actually bought this and didn't need it. But I said, you know what? I'm not going to return it because I've learned my lesson. I want to have backups. I want to have stuff so if something goes wrong, I can still work. So I kept it. Now this is, so you can see, you probably can't see the text, and guess what? I'm going to do this and you're not going to be able to read it. Okay, see it's blurry. So I'm going to explain to you why you can't read it in just a second, all right? So it's called the Insta360 Link 2C. Now you might say, well, I don't get, what was the camera you had before? I had the Insta360 Link, okay? Insta360 Link was the old model. Do you want to see it? This is the Insta360 Link, okay? This webcam is AI powered, and as you can see, it's on a mini tripod of its own, and it actually moves all around. Look at this. See how it moves? It moves all around automatically, and it auto focuses and auto adjusts to follow you around the room. I turned off the auto following features, but the autofocus is beautiful on this camera. It allowed me to do something like this. Hold this up, and it would actually focus on that text, and you'd be able to read it. But as you can see, that's not happening right now, and I'll explain why in a moment. So this camera was amazing. I loved it. This camera is sick. I really like it. I mean, I don't need the auto following features, but as for the autofocus, auto exposure, and everything, it's a nice little camera. I think it's one of the best, if not the best I've ever had, okay? But it wasn't working at all with Windows. It just turns blue because there's the light bar is actually right here. It would go blue and then just turn off and not go green. So I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. So I plugged this guy in. This is a lesser model, but it's the newer model. This is called the Insta360 Link. Since this has come out this year in the fall, they came out with the Insta360 Link 2 and the Insta360 Link 2C. I got the 2C. So what's the difference? Number one, this is magnetic. It actually just snaps on magnetically to a tripod, like the whatever you call it, the base. So if you have multiple webcams, you could swap between on the fly. Don't ask me what use that has. I don't know of anyone who would want to swap webcams on the fly like that, but it's just a feature that they have. So it doesn't actually physically attach like this one. It actually magnetically attaches, okay? The other difference is that this one changed the design. Instead of just being one small camera like this, it's wide now. As you can see in the picture, one half is the camera and the other half is like, I think that's supposed to be like a touch sensor. So you can actually use your thumb to adjust the camera if you're close to it. Like if this camera were, I don't know, like right here, I could just touch the sensor and it would adjust it or something like that. I'm never going to use that. So it's a sensor I'll never use, all right? The difference though, since this is the 2C, this does not have the maneuverability feature. It doesn't have this tripod arm style and it doesn't move. It's a stationary camera. So even though the camera is the same exact visual quality as this one, it doesn't adjust. I can't get this to turn left or right. I can't get it to auto, tune to me. So because of that, I had to sit here and get this camera manually lined up with my wall without auto adjustments, which is a pain in the ass. I was moving it all around. I was getting it adjusted. It's my actual camera and lighting are in a different position right now. They were over here, and now they're here. I moved it even further left, so now I'm flush straight to the wall. Like the wall is flat to my back, and this is going straight up to me, okay? It took a while to get it lined up and looking good and working properly, okay? It did. It took a lot of work. So that's probably another half an hour plus of tuning and doing it. Now, here's the major problem with this camera, and this is what makes me nervous. So this camera had amazing features, auto exposure, auto focus, auto this, auto that, and they were beautiful. You remember the quality, right? It was great. Now you may be looking and saying, oh, you're using your new camera. It looks good, right? That's because I tweaked it, okay? I would like to show you something. And this is what's actually angering me and making me annoyed. So this camera is the new model, okay? It's literally the new model. It's supposed to have better features, okay? So I'm going to show you what happens when I put this camera on autofocus. Are you ready? The camera is now on autofocus. Do you notice something? Take a look at the visual quality. Take a look at the word sure on this microphone right now. Do you notice a difference? Now I'm going to show you something cool. There you go. It does autofocus. So if I put the box up or whatever, it focuses. But now look what happened. Take a look at me and take a look at the mic. Do you notice something? It's blurry. Why is it blurry? It's supposed to be autofocusing on me. Like I'm the center of the camera. It's supposed to be focusing on me, and it doesn't. This camera is faulty. Not the hardware, but whatever it is that they've changed between this one and this one, it doesn't autofocus properly at all. And I don't know how to fix that. It totally should work and doesn't. So it has a faulty autofocus. Exactly. It's focusing on other stuff. It's instead of focusing on me, which this camera did. This camera always focused on me and then put everything else sharpness based on where I was. For some bizarre reason, this new camera, the Insta360 Link 2C, is focusing on other things in the environment. And there's no way for me to fix that because it's all AI based. So I almost feel like they changed the AI between this one and the new one, and the new one's worse. They've actually degraded the quality of the camera. Okay? So this is pretty bad. The actual new technology is worse. So all I can do is I can turn off autofocus. Okay? As you can see, if I turn off autofocus and I manually focus, guess what? Look, I'm sharp again. Look, you can read the word sure again, right? It's better now, but I have to manually do this to get it to work because if I don't, it actually is blurry, and it's really annoying. That they've actually managed to make their products worse. The new product is actually worse, okay? So there we go. Now it's sharp, as you can see. Now everything's sharp. But now this won't work. Ready? See? There's no autofocus. So now, if I actually want to show you something up close, it will never work. So because Windows Update supposedly screwed up this camera, I now have things worse on my setup. How is that fair? Right? Like, what did I do? What did I do to deserve that? I get screwed over because of Windows Update. So anyway, the only way that I could even do my stream today was to use this new webcam because the other one literally will not work, okay? So, I sleep on it or whatever, and I actually pass this information along to my editing team because my editing team is smart about tech and everything. And they look into it overnight, and they get back to me this morning. Yeah, they found it. Everyone is now complaining overnight, this camera has been bricked by Windows Update. This particular model only, not the newer ones. This one and the other one, which is called the Link 2, not the Link 2C, but just the Link 2. So the Link 2 is this camera right here, but it has the arm. It has the exact same kind of like tripod arm that this one has. So it actually does automatically move around and adjust. So maybe that one would be better and would actually have working autofocus because it would adjust properly. I don't know. But yeah, these modern ones work. This last model has been completely bricked. It just will not work with Windows anymore. It turns blue and then turns right back off and doesn't work. So what's the solution? Roll back the Windows Update. Which undoes all the changes, which undoes all the updates, which undoes the whole point of me doing it, right? So this is what I mean about automatic Windows updates, okay? By the way, and I just said my previous PC, I never did Windows updates for 10 years, correct? The reason being is because I always feared something like this. Well, guess what? You no longer, as a consumer, have the power to not do a Windows update. All you have the power to do is temporarily delay it. But eventually the update forces itself upon you. And then if you don't have it installed, it constantly reminds you to install it and then installs it again anyway without your permission. Yes, Microsoft actually thinks they have the right to take control of your hardware and install updates without your permission. The only way to fix this is to go completely offline. That way there's no connection to check for the update and bug you about it. So unless you want to have a computer that's completely offline forever, you are forced into automatically doing Windows updates, okay? So here's the thing. Could I roll back the Windows update? Yes, I could. But that just recreates all the problems because now everything that's working may break again, okay? And it's just going to keep prompting me to keep doing the Windows update over and over. And within probably about a month, it's going to force me to do it, meaning maybe I can use this webcam for one more month, and then this is going to be bricked again anyway. So how frustrating is this shit? Okay, really, it's what right does Microsoft have to destroy this camera? None. Now, here's the thing. InstaLink may actually Insta360, the name of the company is Insta or Insta360. They may be aware that this issue just happened, and maybe they'll have to patch the software for this so that it will work with the new Windows update. And they very well may do that. But why should they have to? They didn't create the issue. Microsoft did. So why does everyone have to suffer because a bunch of book-smart nerds at Microsoft coded a Windows update, didn't test it, and rolled it out mandatorily to everyone, and we were all forced to get it, and now our hardware doesn't work? How is this my problem as a consumer? It's not. It's a fucked up system. This is why not being tech savvy for the last 10 years has actually benefited me in my setup. By not doing Windows updates on my old PC, I never had an issue. Did you ever notice it was never, well, guys, sorry, my webcam doesn't work today. Oh, my capture device just isn't working today. We can't stream. Never. Not once did that happen. Because the Windows updates, I didn't do them because I said, fuck Microsoft. And it actually benefited me in my content for a decade. But now I'm like, oh, I want to stay in line with all the tech stuff now. I want to do all the updates. I want to make sure I have all the stuff installed and working. But look what happens. Literally, this was the first one. The first major update that it says to do has bricked my piece of hardware that's important. The webcam is one of the most important things. If I have a podcast, you have to be able to see me. So it's pretty messed up. So here's the thing. For now, no, I'm not going to roll back Windows, okay? What I've done, I ordered the new version of this camera that has the tripod and the following along. It's called the Insta360 Link 2. I ordered it. Okay, it's not expensive. It's under $200. So it's not a super expensive piece of hardware, okay? That will work because if this one works, that one's definitely going to work, okay? It's supposed to be arriving today. Now, here's the thing. I'm now going to have 2 of the most updated webcams from this company, okay? Now, as you guys have been saying, you want me to have a different setup. I'm done with the Phil's Day Off segment so we can go back here. You want me to have a different setup for when I'm doing the podcasting or when I'm here gaming, because you have criticized me and said the side profile of my head and my arms sticking out and my arms disappearing when I'm look, my hand is gone. You see, I'm getting heavy criticism that how dare you have disappearing hands when you're gaming. We don't like that. That's very disturbing to see you looking like this playing Call of Duty. Okay? So, because of that, all right, I had an idea. Not an epiphany, but an idea. I'm going to float over Seattle like Godzilla. And then after that, I'm going to think about doing a 2-camera setup. Okay? So how will it work? Hold on. Still adjusting my windows here because, again, the Windows Update, all the windows are the wrong sizes. Okay. So, how will it work? Well, this is going to be the same. No matter what, the camera here will always be facing me like this. And I'm now flush to the wall. So this is actually the best perspective you can possibly even get of me right now, is that I face it, straight up. And this will be fine. This will not change. Okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put a webcam, I don't know how this is going to work, behind my TV. Okay? So I'm going to have a tripod set up behind my TV, and the webcam is going to poke up behind the TV, pointing straight face on at me as I'm sitting here gaming. Okay? However, there are some potential problems that are going to happen with this 2-camera setup. Okay? Problem number 1. This camera right now is arguably 1, 2, maybe 3 feet away from me. Okay? Maybe give or take a tiny bit more, but it's around 3 feet away from me. Okay? From me to my TV is about 6 feet. Okay? So it's double the distance. Is the camera good enough to be able to actually focus in on me from across the room and make it look good? Or is it going to end up being fuzzy as hell? And the webcam is completely just negated. Who cares that I have the second webcam? I look like peach fuzz on it. Okay? That's question number 1. Now, the cameras are great quality. Maybe it won't be an issue. Maybe it'll be able to focus on me fine. And this is just a moot point. Okay? But I am a little bit more worried about issue number 2. Okay? The reason that I look good right now on camera, arguably, I know I'm an ugly dude, and I'm fat and I'm hairy and I have man boobs and all this crap that everyone makes fun of me for, right? But outside of all of that, the reason that I look good on camera is because of the lighting. I have this light box that I bought that is sitting directly behind camera. And so I'm getting even light on me right now so that I look good on camera. Okay, to give you an example here, if I turn it off, here's what I look like. Don't look as good, do I? Not really. And even now the RGBs definitely stand out without the light as well. You notice that, right? So this is me with no lighting right now, okay? Now here's the thing. If this camera is across the room and it's capturing me looking like this, I might not look so good. I'm not going to have a light on me like I do right now to make me look good and saturated properly. I'm not going to have the exposure because there's no light going across the room. The other thing is, there's no way for me to have a light going across the room because if I have a light there, it's going to blind me when I'm playing the video games. I can't have a light pointing in my face while I'm playing games. You see what I'm saying? Like, it would actually hinder me. I wouldn't be able to play. I'd be blinded. Right now, I could stare at this camera because I'm just staring at a camera and talking to you. It's not a big deal. My eyes adjust to the light. But if I'm playing a game and I'm playing it and then there's another light, I don't think that's going to work. The only light that I'm thinking of that I could put over there, too, I have the old ring light that I was using for like a year and a half here. So I could put the ring light there, or maybe put the webcam in the middle of the ring light. But then that means I have to plug the ring light into the gaming PC via USB. That means every day when I go to game, I have to turn on the ring light manually because it doesn't have a remote. So I have to go over there and push the button to turn it on. I can't control it from my Steam Deck. Like, I can control this light right here from my Stream Deck easily, but I can't do that on the other light. I'd have to go over there and manually do it. So you see what I'm saying? Like, this would be a big endeavor to get it to work. If it could work easily, I could plug it in, all right? It works immediately. It looks good. The focus is fine. The definition is fine. The background removal tool looks good. Okay, just like it does like right now. It could look just like this, but the lighting will be slightly off, big deal, and it'll be perfect. Or I could turn it on and it's fuzzy as shit, and I'm all discolored because there's no lighting, and it looks awful, and it's not focused, and we're all pissy. So we're going to find out. Now, here's the other thing. Okay? I'm going to have two webcams. One is the one I'm using right now, the Link 2C. This one does not have the arm that allows the camera to move around and automatically focus properly and do all those things, okay? I'm getting the one that has it. So should I just leave the stationary webcam here and just say, fuck it, autofocus will never work, there's nothing I can do about it? Or should I use the new webcam here and enable autofocus and hopefully it works better with the moving arm, and then put the stationary camera over there behind the TV and see how it works stationary? Or do you think that the moving arm and the possible better autofocus would work better behind the TV and it should be implemented back there and I should leave the stationary camera here? Or should I roll back the Windows update so then I can actually use the old webcam, although maybe only for a month because they're going to force the update back on me anyway. So then I could have this one here and have the old quality, but then have the new camera over there with the optimized quality with the moving arm and the autofocus, and then we see how it all works. And then should I use it with or without the ring light, because the ring light may work right away and make it look better over there, but maybe it just won't work at all. It's going to be a big fucking hassle. Isn't modern technology great? I really love since I've upgraded. It's been a real nice, relaxing relief for me since I upgraded to modern tech. Nothing but enjoyment and calmness here on the Level 1 podcast. Someone's going to clip that part with a Looney Tunes explosion? They should, because if I had TNT, I would have detonated it in this office earlier. This is ridiculous. It's supposed to be my day off, guys. You understand something? Instead, I spent, listen to this, over 2 hours last night in this office. Because first, I was doing the stuff that was easy. I was doing the new emotes. I was uploading the video files for Assassin's Creed 2. I was getting the headphones set up with Dolby Digital. All that went smooth. And then the moment the webcam stopped working, I sat in here troubleshooting for an hour. I tried multiple USB cables, multiple ports, multiple programs, everything. Searched the internet for information. At that point, no one had posted up about it yet. So no one had known that this was a known issue with this webcam just being bricked by the Windows update. So here I am ripping my hair out. Then I said, well, I give up. I need a webcam for tomorrow or I can't work. So then I had to get this camera out of its packaging, had to hook it up. Of course, like I said, it has no moving parts. So I had to manually move the tripod, the lighting, adjust. You see how dead center I am? That was me doing it for half an hour. That was me literally sitting here for 30 minutes, moving the fucking camera, little nuanced things. It doesn't adjust up and down. See, this one goes up and down. This doesn't do that. So I had to angle the base, which has a hinge. I had to angle the hinged base oh so perfectly to get it to be perfectly aligned with me so that it looks good. This was a major pain in my fucking ass. Because Windows is stupid as fuck and Microsoft are a bunch of fucking book smart nerds who don't care. Let's just roll out updates. Did we test the updates? Of course we didn't test the updates. Who tests anything in 2025? We just load or upload the updates, force you to use it, and the end users are our beta testers. That's how it works on YouTube. That's how it works in video games. And that's how it works with Windows. Fuck the consumer, right? Just fuck them right in the asshole. I know, some people are saying use Linux. If Linux worked well with everything, I would, but you know that half tech doesn't work with it. I guarantee you this doesn't work with Linux. How much do you want to bet this does not work with Linux? It probably only works with Windows. Hold on. Let me get my reading glasses. Yes, I'm an old man and I need reading glasses. I'm serious. I can't read shit up close. Here we go. Doesn't say on the back. That's their address. Actually, it doesn't say. It does not say on the box. Yeah. It literally doesn't say on the box. Maybe in the documentation, but I'm pretty sure I threw it out. I'd have to look it up. But I guarantee you it doesn't work with Linux. Sadly, everything is plug and play with Windows. And then if you use the proprietary software, you get more features out of it, right? Most of this stuff works with Mac too, whatever the Mac iOS. Most of it works with iOS as well. But Linux is like so limited, right? When it comes there you go. Oddie Normal says the camera will work, but the software will not. So the camera would work as a basic camera, but just so you know, it doesn't even do 60 frames without the software. You need the software to enable 60 frame unlocked mode. So there you go. Very limited use. Listen, I'm not hating on Linux at all. I am totally for an open operating system that, doesn't have this forced stuff down your throat. Don't you think it's ludicrous that Microsoft forces updates on the public? Who do you think you are to tell me that I have to update? I'm the consumer. I should be able to choose what I do with my own hardware and software, right? It's absolutely ridiculous. So I am all for Linux, just I know that sadly half the stuff wouldn't work with it. Okay. Anyway, so that's my rant and story for today. I knew this would be the vast majority of the podcast today. Luckily, I got the camera working. By the way, question. Okay, honest question. Right now, I'm looking at the camera. Does it look like I'm looking straight at you guys or not? Does it look like I'm looking straight at you or does it look like I'm looking slightly off? Okay? Please let me know right now in chat. Does it look like I'm looking straight at the camera or does it look like I'm looking slightly off right now? Please answer because this is going to help me, okay? It does look perfectly straight? Okay, thank you. Because here's why. The camera is built weird. So the camera itself is on the left. That touch sensor is on the right. And there is a green dot light in the middle. And that's meant to be what you focus on when you talk to the camera. Like you look at the green dot. So I'm looking dead at the green dot and talking. I hope it looks like I'm talking to you. That's the goal. If not, I have to look slightly to the left of the green dot that's where the real camera is. But that's so hard to, think about it. I'm looking over here. First thing you see is the green dot and you look at the green dot. You see? So that I'm always going to be looking at that first. So hopefully it looks like I'm looking straight. Okay. Okay. So this really sucks. What really stinks about all this is I hope they fix this. This is a great webcam. This webcam, again, it's around $200 webcam. It's the outdated model, but it's around a $200 cam. It's amazing. It's super good. Why should I now have a dead webcam that I can't use because Windows Update bricked it? I hope that they'll either patch this or Windows Update updates and fixes it because that's messed up that this doesn't work anymore. Seriously. Okay. What's up, Jade? How are you doing today? All right, so guys, that was no lie. That was about an hour rant. Thank you for allowing me to get the hour rant off my chest. I'm going to do a couple of shout outs and then hopefully we can get back to normal. I'll talk a little bit about how we're doing with the goals and how we're doing with DSP Tries It and all of that. And then the schedule and stuff like that. We're going to get back to calmness and normalcy. All right. But here's the update. The update is I am using a new webcam. Hopefully it looks sharp and good. Okay. Sadly, the autofocus doesn't work on this webcam and I just don't know why. So I have to use manual focus. So that means I can't do something like this and have it focus anymore like I used to, which really sucks because it used to be awesome to be able to hold stuff up to the camera. And now I can't do it anymore. It really stinks. Okay. That is a detriment. But I have the newer version of this camera coming. That's the version that has the arm that moves and everything. And I'm going to mess around with both. And I'm going to try to set one camera up behind the TV and one camera here. So we have a 2 webcam setup, one for podcasting and talking with you guys and another for gaming. And it should change perspectives and change angles like a real studio. How crazy is that I'm going to have a two camera setup? I'll be able to switch to that camera and you'll be able to see me from a side perspective that you've never seen before. You're going to see fully the real range of what I can do as a content creator. It's going to be ultra professional in here from now on. You understand? Thanks, Need Pimp says, for large corps like Microsoft, don't blame the coders, blame the managers and the leaders. Oh, listen to me. I don't blame the coders. I 100% always know it's a management decision. Here's the truth. I say this about game developers as well, because everyone always craps on game developers, right? Do you really think that a game developer who's making a game wants to make a bad game? Do you think there's a single person out there who says, I want to go to work, I want to punch the clock, I want to sit down at my desk, and I want to code crap today? I just want to make the worst possible product for the consumer, pump it out unfinished, and run my way to the bank laughing at the unfinished product. Of course not. And it's the same for the people who are the actual coders at Microsoft and all of them. They are just doing their jobs. They're doing what they're told. Ultimately, who is responsible for rolling out software updates, unfinished games, and the like? The management. The fucking managers who sit there and say, we got to rush it. We got to make money. We got to get the deadline. We got to do this, because they are all based off of delivery dates and performance. So if they get it out on time, delivery date, performance rise, everything's good. Oh, wow. Now they get their bonuses. Now they get extra money. Now they can buy their third yacht for the year because they fucking got the update out on time instead of delaying it because the update bricks people's hardware, which they would know if they gave it ample time to test it, but they didn't test it because they needed it out for their deadline so they can make their bonus and their performance review. You see? It's 100% Danks Need Pimp is correct, and I will apologize wholeheartedly right now to everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Please forgive me. I apologize, because when I get angry about stuff like this, I do tend to overgeneralize and misspeak. It is not the coder's fault that the update doesn't work. It is the manager's fault that the update goes out and screws everything up. 1,000,000%. I apologize to everyone over there. I shouldn't have said it like that. And now that Danks Need Pimp has kind of called me out for it, I appreciate that, because he's right. I tend to get over emotional about this stuff, and then I say things, and then people are like, wow, Phil's a jerk. You see what he said? You're right. Thank you for calling me out and allowing me to correct myself before the show ended. It is not the coder's fault. It is these money-grubbing, greedy, performance-chasing managers who get the fucking bonuses to begin with, and they're the ones who want to roll the products out to make the extra money, and they're the ones that fuck over the consumers. Okay? There you go. Yes, he debunked me. Danks Need Pimp has debunked me today on the Level 1 podcast, and well-deserved. A well-deserved debunking. Thank you for correcting the king. Aren't the managers street smart? No. Are you kidding me? The managers are the worst. The managers are not book smart, and they're not street smart. They're literally just there to get performance. That's it. They don't even care if the product fucking works. They don't. They just want it out so they get their, oh, look, it was out on the right date. I get my performance review and I get my bonus. That's it. That's it. They don't. I know, because I used to work at these companies. They don't give a fuck. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, all right. So now I've bitched enough. Good news is new camera's en route. It'll be here by the end of today. Maybe tomorrow we'll be able to test a 2-camera system. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Tomorrow for the, what are we playing tomorrow? Dark Souls? We're doing Dark Souls tomorrow, right? I think so. So that would be pretty cool if tomorrow, for the Dark Souls stream, I have a 2-camera setup and we get to swap between the cameras. Yeah, Dark Souls tomorrow and Marvel. Oh shit, we're playing Marvel Rivals tomorrow night. So we got to talk about that schedule. We'll talk about the schedule in a moment. But before we do, I have a few shout outs to do here. Let's do some shout outs. So we start off today with a $1.30 tip from Toxic Toilet Juice. Why am I salty? Why am I salty? But do you want to know why? Because listen, as you know, I don't get a lot of time off. You guys know that. I'm always working, correct? And It's important to me to have time with my wife. The time that I have is precious. And yesterday, I intended to come into this office and spend maybe 30 to 45 minutes away from her so that I could get the stream working for today. And then we would continue on our merry way with no issues. And instead, I lost over 2 hours of time with my wife yesterday, which isn't fair to her or me. And whose fault is it? The management at Microsoft. 100%. It's their fault. You know, if I had known that rolling back the Windows update would have fixed it, I would have, but no one knew that yet. Actually, people weren't even figuring this out until overnight. I saw people found posts on the internet, started posting on like Reddit about it. That, oh yeah, this webcam's been bricked by the Windows update. If you roll it back, you'll fix it. But you know, it's just so ridiculous. Okay, so thank you for that. I got $1 tip from the Felted Troll saying the camera's on. It's been on the whole time. Yes, that's a pretty old meme at this point. Oh, when was that? 2016? So we're almost 9 years now. Holy shit. Can you believe it's been 9 years? But let's keep bringing it up every day like it was yesterday, because that really makes some people look better, apparently. I can't imagine who I'm referencing, though. Hold on. I received a very generous $50 tip this morning. It's anonymous. There is no name and no message. It's just a $50 anonymous tip here. So thank you, whoever that is. I really appreciate you. $50. That'll definitely help with the $50 troll chargeback I received on my day off. That's another great thing, is that, you know, I have my day off and here I am relaxing, and then I had to spend 2 hours in this office, you know, doing this tech nonsense and fighting with it and everything, which is very frustrating. And then I receive a $50 chargeback as well. And I'm like, oh. So now I have to decide, do I want to fight the chargeback or not? Is it really worth it? Because it's going to take weeks of work. I have to try to show all this information about when the tip came in, what was the message associated with the tip, and has that person tipped before? And the answer is yes, this person has tipped a ton before. So basically, it completely undermines their chargeback attempt because it shows that they have ongoing history of supporting the streams. And the fact that they now think that they're going to charge back a big tip that they did just shows that they're trying to test the waters of how to break the law and commit fraud. So here's the deal. What I could do, and it would take some time, is I could spend time researching and showing the history of every time this person contributed to me, okay? And basically say, here's the evidence that this is not someone who really had like fraud or anything committed, because that's what they're trying to say. Oh, it's fraud, right? No, you didn't have any fraud committed. Here's all of the support they'd given. Here's every message that I read out on stream, and I could show and corroborate all of that. And here's what would happen. PayPal would contact the credit card company, and the credit card company would launch an actual investigation into the consumer. And if it's shown that this is fraud, they'll actually go to jail. They will. Like, they'll actually say, you committed fraud, now we're investigating you because you filed a false claim against your credit card company, and they could potentially see jail time. But they think it's a joke. These fucking people who commit chargeback fraud actually think this stuff is like funny and a joke, and they don't understand that they could actually go to federal prison for committing fraud if I can prove that they're lying. So I'm going to think about if I should actually go ahead and, you know, bother with this or not. It's a lot of work. It is, because not only do you have to do all the initial information, then they come back, they ask more questions, and you have to, oh, I'm a streamer, and here's how it works, and here's the messages I said. It's a pain in the ass. But if this guy goes to jail, it might be worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it actually might be worth it to send a troll to jail. So maybe I'll do it. Because unlike the case where people are doing copyright abuse, or people are live restreaming me without permission, and that's you know, against the law, that would be like court cases. This is a case where all I really have to do is send enough information to PayPal, and a person might actually go to jail for committing a crime against me. So maybe I'll do it. I'll have to think about it. Or if that person's smart, they would immediately reverse their fucking false claim right now, in which case they wouldn't ever have an investigation done against them. But they have to see how smart they are, right? The truth is, if you're already trying to commit federal fraud to save a few bucks on a fucking tip that you threw against someone, you're probably not too smart anyway, right? That's exactly correct. BattleDuck says, at the very least, they're going to get blacklisted. Exactly. PayPal will block them. Their credit card their actual credit card will block them and or ban them from using a credit card ever again. They might even report them for fraud and it could go on their credit report, which would actually ruin their credit as well. But they don't think about this because they're morons. They think life's a game. Let's see here. JDTV says, is the Insta360 Link controller active in the camera software settings? I don't know what you mean. The Insta360 Link always is running in the background of these programs. It has to be, because if you don't, none of the settings work. Like, it wouldn't even do 60 frames if that weren't the case. Is the camera firmware updated? Yes, it is. I made sure that the firmware was updated through the app. It seems to be fine. So, yeah. But I already banned the person, but they said, oh, no, that's not true. When someone sends a contribution via PayPal, that's like someone handing a Pepsi to someone on the street. Wrong. You used your actual payment method, whether it was a credit card, bank, whatever. That's an official federal or official payment institution. That's a company. You agree to all their terms of service that what you're doing is truthful and not fraudulent when you send a payment. Okay? Then you're using PayPal, a third-party payment processor. You agree to all of their terms and conditions, including the fact that your payments you're sending are legit and whatever when you send a payment. You use two legal agreements that you go through when you send funds via anywhere on the internet like this. It's not just you handing a can of soda to someone on the street. You just had two legal agreements before the money even went through. So if you then go down the back end and you commit fraud and lie and say, oh, I didn't mean to send that payment, that wasn't authorized, you've committed two federal crimes, one against your payment processor and one against PayPal. That's two felonies. So good luck. I got a $1 tip from something disgusting. I'm just not going to read it. I'm just going to say thanks for the $1 tip. And I'm going to continue to do that now because this is ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, the soda analogy doesn't work. It's idiotic. I know. Anyway, thank you for the $1 tip. Okay, so guys, here's the deal. We are currently at 75 goals hit. 75, okay? Oh, by the way, someone tried to send me an emo via DM on X. X is so screwed up now. Like, literally, it's so effing screwed up. You can't save a fucking picture off of X anymore. So they sent me, it was me in my Ghostbusters outfit applauding like this, and it's perfect. It's cut to be an emote for kick. I can't save it. It's just sitting there in a DM on X, and I can't save it. You right-click, won't let you save. There's no way to export the fucking file from X. So to the person who DM'd me, I DM'd them back, but I don't think they saw it yet. I would love to use that on the streams, but you got to send it to me like via email or like upload it somewhere and send me the link. I can't get it off of X because X is like some fucking gulag that locks up media, apparently. I couldn't even believe I couldn't get it. Okay. So we are at 75 goals hit out of 80. All right. We are halfway to the DSP Tries It reward already, and it's the first streaming day of the week. So thank you to everyone who supported me last week. Amazing. Okay. Let's keep that momentum going. We've already got 53, 54 bucks of support this morning. Let's keep that rolling. All right. Let's get some support this morning. Who's going to be the first one to do a sub over on Kick? Who's going to be the first membership on YouTube? Who's going to be the first super chatter? I'll tell you who. Tag, because Tag did a $1.99 super chat and said, One True King comes back tomorrow. That's great. I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. One True King? What's he talking about? Is this some detractor meme? I have no clue. But thank you, Tag, for the super chat, but I have no idea what he's talking about. Okay. Does anyone know? Oh, you're talking about Trump because Trump gets inaugurated? Okay, there you go. That made sense. Yes, Trump's inauguration, right? Which is hilarious because when he was first inaugurated, they basically said, oh, look, he had like the smallest crowd ever of any president. Compare this to Obama's inauguration crowd, right? And then when Biden won the presidency, he couldn't even have an inauguration crowd because of COVID. So now, with Trump returning triumphantly the way he is, he's probably going to have the biggest inauguration crowd in history. I almost guarantee you that inauguration crowd is going to be wildly huge. So that's what happens when you open your goddamn mouths like they did 8 years ago. I mean, now they're going to suffer for it. Anyway, I received a $10 tip. Oh, this person says, I am Noah, and I'm actually the person who sent the $10 tip earlier. They must have forgot to put their name in the tip. Hold on one second. Wow, my touchpad is running like shit. It really is. I'm just unpinning shit from my laptop taskbar. So this person says, it's me, Noah. I sent that 50, but I love your content. I've been watching since I was in middle school in 2010. Keep up the content, G. Awesome. Thank you, Noah. Very generous today. So another $10 tip. I'll go ahead and I'll count the 50. I believe you. And you sent another tip here. So now we're up to $66 in support, and let's get Noah up on the leaderboard for that big $50 tip earlier. Thank you, Noah. Appreciate you very much. Thank you for your support this morning. By the way, today's font on the leaderboard is the actual Call of Duty font. If you take a look at it, that's the font that's used in the Call of Duty Black Ops games. So I figured I'd have that for the leaderboard while we play Black Ops 6 today. Okay? So come on, guys. Let's get it going. Thank you for those tips. But, guys, let's get some support going in other ways. Let's get some super chats. Let's get our first subs and memberships of the day. Let's get it going, and let's hit that goal. So remember the reward we determined the other day, Chick-fil-A. I've never had Chick-fil-A before on DSP Tries It. In fact, I've only had it like twice, okay, ever in history. So I hope that you guys will support today. Let's do Chick-fil-A. And when I do Chick-fil-A, I'm going to do a bunch of stuff. I'll probably do like the breaded chicken, and I'll probably do like grilled chicken, and I'll try a side or two. We'll try a bunch of stuff and see what they've got. I heard they have good drinks too. There were 4 gifteds earlier. I missed them during my tech rant. Hold on a second here. All right, let me take a look. Let's take a look here, because you're probably right. Absolutely. Dark Sneed Pimp. 4 gifted subs over on Kick earlier while I was ranting, raving, and going crazy. So thank you for telling me. Let's get those up on the leaderboard, shall we? Cool. Sorry about that, Dank Sneed Pimp. So that is 20 more bucks of support. It means we're up to 86 and climbing. We are now more than halfway to our goal. Amazing. Thank you so very much. Applause for Dank Sneed Pimp. Now, who's going to drop? Whoa. Wobbly Mike. Who's going to drop a massive 10 baht to get us into the home stretch? Or who's going to do some memberships on YouTube? That's the question. Okay. Excuse me. Let us talk about the schedule. All right. So this week is a fun week. Like I said, we've got continuing stuff. We've got today's first time I'm going to use true Dolby surround sound playing Call of Duty. Fingers crossed it works well, right? That should be awesome if it does. I hope it does. I'm excited. I really am excited for the future of this week because we're going to have some new playthroughs coming up and stuff. All right, so here's the deal. Today, it is Call of Duty Black Ops 6, 3-hour stream. First time in ages I'm doing a full 3-hour stream of Black Ops 6. So I hope that you guys will join me for it. It's going to be fun, keyboard and mouse and surround sound headphones. Starting off with whatever the daily challenges are, and then we're going to focus on what is it called, the Grekova or something? The handgun. I want to max out this handgun so I can go akimbo. With this full auto handgun. That was the whole idea, is that we're going full auto handguns because I did the akimbo single shots and they suck. So I want to go full auto, and that's going to be fun to run around with dual handies, just, murdering everyone. So that's going to be our focus for today in Call of Duty. Obviously, we'll see what happens. There may be, goals set in place for certain things. We'll see if the challenges and stuff like that. And then tonight on the late stream, it's Indies night. We're going to start with Balatro, and we're going to do Balatro, which would be fun. I haven't done the game in a while, so nice, chill, interactive fun. We talk a lot while I play Balatro, but also you guys help me to figure out different builds and the like. We'll do it for at least an hour. We'll see if you guys like it and you want to keep going. We'll do the entire night of Balatro, but if you guys get bored, then instead we can switch over and do the coin game for the second hour. The coin game, we're pretty much done. There's one more arcade left to go to. But very well, I might have played all the games at it. So it's pretty much like one more hour of just hanging out in the game and checking out the content. I kind of want to put a fork in it and say we're done with the coin game. So that's why I want to play it one more time. But we don't have to do it tonight. We could see if we just like Balatro and want to keep going with Balatro, if we want to swap over. We'll play it by ear and see how it goes. Okay? So there you go. By the way, Jade, you're good? I'm good too. I'm looking forward to a nice chill week with all of you. I am, okay? Tomorrow will be Dark Souls 1 with mods continuing. We can now go after the big 4, although it's weird because people said I need to get this particular ember to level up my weapon, and I got it, and I can't level up my weapon. So I don't know if I did something wrong or if they changed it in this Age of Sunlight version of the game that you don't do it that way. I guess we'll look into it, but we're ready to head to the big 4 now. Like, there's nothing else to do. We've done all the side stuff. So that'll be the focus. When we play, that'll be the focus when we play tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, Marvel Rivals continues. All right, we're actually going back to Marvel Rivals for a stream on Monday night. We're going to see how it goes. You guys have asked me for Marvel Rivals to continue and come back for 2 weeks. So I said, I'm going to give it a shot. If people show up and they engage and they support, I will play Marvel Rivals regularly because I liked it. I was enjoying it. I was learning the characters. I was having a good time. But people weren't showing up and weren't engaging and weren't supporting with the content. But then when I stopped playing it, everyone complained. All right, so let's see what happens with Marvel Rivals tomorrow night. If it works well, I will continue to play it. If it just turns out just like it was previous, then I'm not going to play it anymore, okay? And then tomorrow night, it will be, I already said Marvel Rivals. Sorry, I want to say Tuesday. It's the return of Smart Guys, the wrestling commentary show. Now, this is interesting because for the first time ever, we are going to review AEW. I watched AEW Dynamite earlier in the week. I took a ridiculous amount of notes, and I am ready to talk about the show. Okay, so I hope that you will join us on Tuesday for the AEW Dynamite edition. Plus, we'll still be talking about Raw of Smart Guys over on DSP Reacts and on the Kick channel as well. Now, if we finish early, which we might or might not, I'm going to do some Stalker 2. Yes, I'm going to do some Stalker 2 on DSPGaming. But if the show runs late because we're also doing AEW, then that's just going to be the first stream. Okay, and then Tuesday night, the return of Street Fighter 6. And I'm on the fence if I should continue with E-Honda or go back to Dalzim. It's going to be one or the other. I actually think I want to play more Honda. Like, I did really well with Honda the other day. I think I had almost 3 times as many wins as losses. Seriously, I had like 30 wins and only like 12 or 13 losses. So I was kicking ass with Honda. And then come to find out, someone reached out to me and said, oh, aren't you aware that Honda got buffed, that his chop now combos well and everyone uses the chop in the combo? I was like, no. So if I play with Honda, I could do even better. So I think I'm going to probably play with Honda again Tuesday night, okay? So that's the first half of the week. I will be here Wednesday and Friday. I'm not here Thursday because that's my day off to spend time with my wife, and we have appointments and stuff we're doing. It's an extra day off this week. But I want to start with Dino Crisis this week. So I'm strongly considering on Wednesday, the day stream, we do Dino Crisis as a full stream. We finally get into this game for the first time ever because previously I had not played Dino Crisis seriously. We only just did the intro a zillion times. So I think Dino Crisis is the way to go for Wednesday, and then we'll go from there, okay? Probably like some more Call of Duty. I probably think Call of Duty Wednesday night, and then probably Friday, maybe like, more Dark Souls or more Stalker 2, and then Street Fighter Friday night, and that's the week. So now also, if we continue with our pattern of hitting these goals like we have, okay, we'll do the math. 5 more goals needed for DSP Tries It, right? So let's say we hit it today and tonight. That's 2. Tomorrow and tomorrow night, that's 3. And then we hit it again on Tuesday night. Keep in mind, though, Smart Guys does not count towards my goal. Smart Guys is its own entity separate from that. So we'd have to hit it today and tonight, tomorrow and tomorrow night, and then Tuesday night. Then that means Wednesday, we will do DSP Tries It Chick-fil-A. And let me tell you something. That would work very well because my wife works, and that day, if she could just come home from work and we have food to eat rather than her having to cook something, would be perfect. So let's try for that pacing. Let's try to hit 5 goals by Wednesday. So Wednesday we could do the DSP tries at Chick-fil-A, and that would work perfectly for everything, you know? Okay? Does that sound good? I hope that sounds good to everyone. And I hope that's a good schedule for the week, okay? All right, so there you have it. I've covered all the topics I wanted to cover. I'm very frustrated with this whole technology situation. I absolutely hate that there is an Insta360 link controller you have to download separately. It allows you to use different effects in the InstaLink software. That's what I have. I have InstaLink controller. Yeah, that's what I use. I'm telling you. InstaLink controller is the standalone software you use with the camera, JDTV. Okay, that's how you enable 60 frame per second mode. That's how you turn on and off gesture tracking. Okay, there's no other software. That's the software for the camera. And then when you use it in OBS or whatever, all you're doing is you're using it as an input, and then it uses the software settings in OBS. That's literally how I just turned on and off autofocus. And you saw autofocus doesn't work with this camera. Do you want to see again? Here, I'll show you. So right now I'm opening up InstaLink controller. Right now it's opened. Okay. I'm going to the effects tab and I'm going to turn on autofocus. Ready? And now I'm a blurry mess. Look how blurry I look. I don't know what it's focusing on. It's supposed to be auto-focusing. What exactly is it focusing on? Philomania over here? Is that what it's focusing on, do you think? Because if I do this, okay, see? It doesn't focus. I don't know what it's focusing on. I feel like it's focusing on the back, like this Philomania, because look how crisp that looks, right? This looks good. Now I want you to think about that. Why would the camera focus on the side instead of the center? With this camera, it automatically tracked and knew focus on the center, focus on the person in the middle. So I always looked crisp and sharp. See how blurry the Shure looks now? So it's focusing on the sides and not the center, which makes absolutely no sense at all. Okay? Stupid. It doesn't make any sense at all. So I'm just going to turn off the autofocus because it's not working. And I'm going to manually set it. And now it looks good. Look how sharp I am. Look how sharp that is now. You know? But the funny part is this looks good too. So it's just wrong. The autofocus actually doesn't work. For some bizarre reason, it doesn't work. And it always worked with this camera, and it doesn't work with the new model. Crappy. I don't know what happened. And yes, I updated the software. Where is it? Yeah, it had a toolbar mode, but no, I updated the software and everything. I don't remember where it is, but I did. I clicked on it. I updated to the newest version of the app and all of that. I did all that stuff. I don't see the settings thing right now, though. But then again, I'm all the way over here. Here we go. Dark mode, light mode, auto mode, language English, audio device. Yeah, but we're not using an audio device to record. Yeah, screenshot recording locations, nothing there. Hotkeys, but I'm not using hotkeys. There's the about. You can uninstall the virtual camera, but we don't want to do that. You could restore to factory settings. And it actually shows the camera that's plugged in right now and its serial number and everything, and that's it. Yep, that's it. Yep. So it must be updated because it wasn't. It would prompt me here in the settings, I'm sure, for an update. Like I said, I updated it yesterday. So yeah, there's no update. It sucks. It just doesn't. This camera does not work. This one, like I said, it blinks blue, and then craps out and doesn't work. The other thing I'm wondering is it will work. I should have 2 webcams and be able to switch between them. It should work. Theoretically. I don't think you could use them both at the same time, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how that works. If you could use 2 at exactly the same time, I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be switching between them. So it probably wouldn't be an issue for us, but try turning off the lamp. It might be drawing the focus, but Bookworm, the lamp makes me be able to be visible. I told you what it looks like without the lamp. Ready? I'm in the dark, and all you see is the RGBs now. You know, you need the lamp. The whole idea is everyone has lighting, dude. Everyone uses lighting. There's no one who does this and doesn't have a light. It makes it look better. How's my morning, Dark Souls Master? Well, I vented about the tech stuff, and now I feel better, and I'm ready for Call of Duty. Try sewer, read, or magic tomorrow, says Jade. All right, remind me. Remind me tomorrow who you want me to try. Oh, you mean the Tesla lamp? Again, you have to understand the Tesla lamp was on with the other camera. Oh, still blurry. Look, I'm Peach Fuzz. I'm literally Peach Fuzz. It will not look how bad the shirt looks now. See, the autofocus is busted on this new camera, and I don't know why. Again, this camera was gorgeous with the autofocus. Was always super crisp and clear, and I could bring stuff up to the. I could do this. And it would focus nicely, like it just did. And then I would be able to pull away, and it would focus on me. And it does. Look, I'm blurry again. It will not focus on me. Even though I'm staring at the fucking camera, it won't focus on me. It goes too far. You know what it's doing? It's focusing further back. That's why this looks crisp, and this looks crisp. It's not focusing on this and this. It's focusing on things behind. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So the autofocus on this camera is busted. This makes me nervous because I got the new version of that camera coming, the one that has the arm that moves. Is it going to be the same? In which case, we just can't use autofocus on either camera now. The old model was better. If that's the case, that's really stupid. Yeah, see, it autofocuses to 91%, but when I manual focus, I go to about 80, 82%, and now see how crisp it is? So it's focusing behind me. It's focusing on this instead of this. And that's just dumb. What camera doesn't know to look straight? Pretty dumb. All right. Dank Sneed Pimp. Looks like gifted some more subs. Let's take a quick look here. Thank you, Dank Sneed Pimp. Take a quick look. Dank Sneed Pimp gifted another sub. One more. Thank you, Dank Sneed Pimp, making it a nice even 5 this morning. Thank you for that. Who else is going to jump in on this? First of all, on the YouTube side, we have no memberships at all, and we only have one $2 super chat. Let's change that, shall we? Let's get some YouTube side contributions. Doesn't have to be a ton. Let's get some, though, all right? Because right now, we're almost at 2/3 of the goal already, and we haven't even started the game. That's a great sign that we're going to hit the goal. But let's do it. So one other thing you may notice, my desk is here now, and it didn't used to be. Since we're going to have a setup now where the camera is going to be there, I'm going to try to keep the desk here all the time, but just pull it closer to me now when I play games. So I'm actually going to try to have the desk, I'm not going to lean forward as much. I'm going to try to pull the desk closer in to play games here so that the camera will have like that unhindered shot on me. I'm going to try that. We're going to see how that works. and then push it away when I'm done with the gaming, but still leave it kind of in the shot like this. Like you can still see the keyboard and the mouse and everything. I'm gonna try to keep it in the shot moving forward. We'll see how that works. Hardcore today? Well, first thing we're doing today is the daily challenges. We're doing the daily challenges and getting them done. I want to focus on getting my handgun. What is it called? I think it's like the Grakova or whatever. I want to get this handgun max so we can go akimbo with the full auto handguns. And then we can do double handies all day long. There you go. Do I struggle getting in and out of the room with all the equipment? No, this entire left-hand side is now empty. This used to be completely covered in wires and shit. It's completely empty. So all I do is this. Good. I cannot get out the right-hand side unless I completely push the desk out of the way. So I just exit this way and walk around everything. Yeah, so that's how it works for now anyway, but it's nice. This is much better. My old setup was horrible. My old setup, I had wires surrounding me. I felt like I was confined, and this feels more like I have like a base of operations here where I'm operating all this equipment and shit. It feels really good. Do I consider myself to be more street smart than book smart? I'm pretty much 99% street smart at this point. I don't understand the technical shit behind most stuff anymore. I actually used to be a more book smart guy where I would study and I would know the tech and everything. I barely know anything anymore. You know, it's more I learn hands-on as the end user of all the tech rather than knowing how the tech worked, you know, behind the scenes. Elin, how are you today? Welcome. Like right now, no exaggeration, I probably have one of the best RGB setups of anyone. I'm serious. Like this setup, I can sync to Signal RGB, and my entire room is synced with Signal RGB, and I can change the scenes and I can change the lighting's perspective. Like I can make my back wall one part of the lighting. That's one sequence, and my wall here different. Like, but just because I sat here as an end user and I fucked with it endlessly to figure it all out through trial and error. There was no guides online. There was no way to figure it out. You had to sit here and fuck with it for hours to get it to look good. And now look how good it looked. But it took a lot of fucking work. Would I ever collab with King Cobra? No. No. All right. So last chance, anyone, if you have a question to ask or anything you want to chat about, now would be the time to do so. As I'm about to end the podcast and we're going to get set up and started with Call of Duty with surround sound, Dolby Digital surround sound for the first time ever. This should be interesting and exciting to see how it turns out. Hopefully well. God's honest truth asks, is there some sort of online class you could take to learn street smarts? No, you're far too stupid to ever learn anything. Sorry. You might as well just give up now and put on your Velcro shoes and bounce off your rubber walls for the rest of your life. You got to ask that question. You're too stupid. Okay. Oh, you guys make it way too easy. Oh. Back real quick. I'm I'm just going to check on the delivery of everything, see if there's any updates on anything. Oh, yeah. So I had to get another tripod to put up this webcam behind the TV. That's here. And the camera is coming between 5 and 10 p.m., so I got to wait the camera to show up between 5 and 10 p.m. So maybe on the late stream, if it shows up in time, maybe we can do dual cameras on the late stream for Balatro and see how it looks. That'll be interesting. Okay. Did I like the N64 controller? I thought the thumbstick was fascinating. The thumbstick on the N64 controller is very weird. It's very loose, like really loose. There's no real resistance like there are on modern controllers. So it was kind of like, whoa, you're running way in one direction, like when you're holding it. It didn't have like force resistance or anything where you could like increase the amount you go up, down, or a direction by pushing it harder or lighter. But it was cool. It was the first time ever you could fully control the direction you wanted to go with the stick rather than having to hold multiple pads or buttons or whatever. It worked really well for what it was. I remember Star Fox 64 on it was really, really good. Now, as for the button positioning, it was bizarre. It had like the face buttons were kind of weird compared to other traditional controllers. And to play it, you had to hold, if you wanted to use the D-pad, you held it here and here. If you wanted to use the thumbstick, you had to go down to here. The thumbstick was low while the D-pad was up here, and there were different handles to grab. So it really was a weird D-pad for sure. Take a look at my logo. My DSPGaming logo is the upside down N64 controller, and it's a revolutionary controller, but they obviously got refined after that, right? Like everyone went to the dual thumbstick setup, the different positioning, the more responsive, the more you hold it or harder you hold it, etc. And it changed a little bit. So, okay, guys, thank you so much for a great podcast and listening to me bitching about technology. But now this is all leading to more improvements because now it looks like we're going to have a dual webcam setup. Hopefully it works. And so now we're going to get what you want with the different perspective of me over here playing games versus when I'm podcasting. We'll see how easily we can get that to happen. I'll be honest, I'm not very confident. I get the feeling it's going to fuck up again. But I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you also for your early support. We've already halfway to our goal, all right? And so tomorrow, my friends, we'll talk about how Call of Duty went. We'll talk about how Balatro and Indies Night went. We'll talk about if the camera showed up and how that went. And I'm sure we'll get caught up on all the different gaming news and the like. You notice I didn't talk about TikTok today because it's a story in progress that I don't feel like I should talk about until the end is in sight. So we'll maybe talk about that tomorrow. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Great podcast. See you on Monday.